Mambayang na ako na.
Thank you.
Mambayang na ako. Sabi ko naman.
Okay, we shall continue, no? For the humanistic approaches, we have the Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. Andito ba yung reporter nito?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, ito yung pinaka-common, no? I hope you get to really learn from the reporter, si Ma'am Tungkok, when she discussed to you the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yung sa kanya dito, that the basic needs of humans, or usually, meron tayong tinatawag na meron tayong tinatawag na ano yun, no? Ano ba yun, Mr. Tumbok, no? We have the pyramid that we have, no? Yung pinaka-highest is yung self-actualization, at saka yung basic needs like food, shelter, clothing. These are very basic, no? So in learning, for example, it is very important that these basic needs are provided first, no? Before the next level is being provided. Why, no? Usually your students in the future would say, bakit ka absent lang ka? Kasi ma'am, wala po kasi kaming bigas sa bahay, wala kang pagkain, no? Pakita mo yung estudyante, for example, na talagang naghihirap kahit yung simpleng pang-uniform niya, hindi kaya i-provide ng family. So if these are basic needs, and these are not provided, what would probably happen to that child? So this will result to dropouts. Okay, this will result to not being focused in their studies. Ibig sabihin, wala sila masyadong focus compared to those ones na at least 3 times a day nakakakain, provided agad ng mga needs, no? So kumpara sa kanila doon, no, mas lamang sila, mas angat sila doon sa mga bata na kahit yung basic needs hindi na provide. So another example of that, no, after the basic needs, what's next? Security.
Yes, sir. Security.
Okay, security. That security are provided, that they would feel that they are safe. No? Security or safety begins at home pa rin. No? That's very important. Wherever they go, they are safe. So it's also a human needs, no? na kailangan paglabas mo ng bahay, no, you're feeling safe, that your community, when you go out of your house, safe and secured ka, because you know that nobody will harm you, diba? And the next level after security is sense of belongingness ba yun? And love? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a sense of belongingness and tawag nito, no? And love, no? Every one of us, no, is seeking for belongingness, no? And love. Hindi mo agree diha, no? I believe all of us is seeking for this. At part yan ng human needs natin. Na maramdaman natin na minsan, kahit paano, maramdaman natin na mahalaga tayo, na mahal tayo, na ano tayo, no, na kasama tayo, belong tayo, yung maramdaman natin, no, to mga to. First thing that, or first, to give us this feeling of belongingness and love is also our family. Okay, so yun yung pinaka-ano doon. That's why nga, it all begins at home. No, yung mga feelings na to. And the next stage would be from self-belongingness or love is what's next?
Esteem needs po. Esteem needs. Esteem needs.
Okay, example of that, gusto mo?
Example of esteem needs is to yung mga you give yourself value ba, parang yung bibigyan mo yung self mo ng self-love, like that would help you accomplish the feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of success, something like that, a feeling of prestige, ganun. Parang if you are ang gusto mo is gusto mong magkaroon ka ng self-worth, ganun. That is the esteem needs. Like you want to be viewed as a person who has dignity, a person who has achievement, or an independent person. And then meron din po yun siyang esteem needs for oneself. Yun yung sinasabi ko. Pero meron din pong esteem needs kung saan you desire for be respected by others. Like you want status and you want prestige for yourself, ganon. So yun yung description ng esteem needs natin. So and we have to address that.
And then, and so on and so forth, no? So if you have a question, actually ako dito nagkaroon ako ng I have this assumption that you are familiar with this theory kasi even in your undergrad, I believe this has been discussed by your teachers. Ito kasi talaga yung very common na theory na talagang pinapasukan, no? Even in your psychology 101 before, even in the old curriculum, it has been popularized every now and then. And the last of that is your ating self-actualization. No, yung self-actualization usually happens, for example, you have already achieved, greater heights for yourself. Self-actualization na nagawa mo na ang gusto mo mangyari sa buhay mo. Sometimes retired people do not actually reach to this level. Okay, they do not reach to this level kahit sabihin pa nating mayaman sila, in terms of basic needs they have the luxury of everything. In terms of security, probably they could feel that they are feeling secure because they could hire bodyguards, for whatever mga harm na mangyari sa kanila, or yung feeling of security lang, hindi lang naman siya nakikita na dapat may tagabantay sa'yo, but yung feeling of security na wala kang kaaway. Okay, so not all people, even if they are blessed with luxuries of things, they would reach to these levels. Okay, meron din na kahit na mahirap lang, meron din na kahit na sabihin natin hindi naman pinalad financially, but they reach the self-actualization level. Depende kasi yon kung paano natin define yung self-actualization natin, because all of us have dreams in life. Do you agree on that? Lahat naman tayo may mga pangarap sa buhay, correct? Lahat tayo may gustong mangyari sa mga buhay natin. So our self-actualization actually is different, Hindi tayo pare-parehan ng gusto natin patuluhan in the future. If, let's say for example, I would say that my self-actualization is when I get to retire and I get to travel all beautiful places in the Philippines. It's my self-actualization and I wanted to do that. Okay, so hindi natin alam, baka naman pagdating ng panahon na yun, when I get to retire, hindi ko na kaya mag-travel all over the Philippines kasi nga ang dami ng sakit, ang dami ng nararamdaman. So not all could probably reach to that level. Meron naman yung mga hindi blessed, yung self-actualization nila ay makapagtapos lang yung mga anak nila, and for them that's already self-fulfilling. So meron gano'n, no? Yung mga kind of family that they are not blessed in the very first place because they don't have these luxuries. But parents are working very, very hard to to send their children to school, and everybody were professionals. So sa part ng parents, yun yung self-actualization nila, and then they've reached that level already. Okay, so iba-iba lang tayo ng self-actualization. So according to Maslow's, um, as human as we are, we all have these needs. Okay, and please know that whatever is this needs, no, na depende lang, no, kung ano yung pangangailangan natin, ano yung pangarap natin, no. It's valid for you to get to go on with that because yun yung gusto mo. And please know also that as we aspire for these needs, no, being a humans, no, kailangan din natin na wag i-deprive ang self natin for that. Actually, there was a late study, no, part already of the basic needs. I just don't know if you've heard that, is sex. Don't you know that? Hindi ako sure kung
Yes,
basic
sir.
needs yun.
Yes,
Correct,
sir.
Did you mention that,
Yes.
no? Oo.
Yes, sir.
Grabe ba ka? Yes, no? Agree ko sa taong tanan. Oo. So again, no, aside from food, aside from shelter, aside from all of these things, sex is already not considered also as a basic needs. I think that's the latest development of this theory, no, na part siya doon. So for you, if you agree that on that or not, no, it's up to you. But this is again a theory that's telling us that it is a human needs. Now, moving on to the next part is the cognitive approaches. Now, for the cognitive approaches, may I call on the reporter to share us implications. Ang gusto ko lang talaga always is i-relate nyo yung theories na to a classroom situation and how can we make use of this theory, no, once we become teachers. Yun lang, para mas klaro. For Just Start Inside Theory, Ms. Onai, are you here?
Po, sir.
Sige, Ms. Unaid. I am supposedly be meeting you for an hour, pero sobra na tayo ng 1 hour. Let's make it quick.
Bale dito po sa Gestalt theory po, nakapaloob po dito yung mga insight theory din po. Yung Gestalt principle po, it's like how we perceive things and takes that information, interpret. It seeks to explain how we perceive and view things the way we do. So example po sir sa classroom setup po, parang kapag yung teacher po, much better po magbibigay yung teacher ng groupings kaysa po parang sa single student po. Kasi pag sa groupings po, mas share po yung, may mga sharing of ideas po na nangyayari po. So, mas malawak po yung learning ng student po. Parang ganun po, sir.
Did you discuss the different laws of Gestalt principles?
Yes po, sir. Yung kasama ko po, sir, si Ma'am Chloe po.
Okay. So do you have any questions on this? Okay, for Gestalt theory, not to simply put that Gestalt theory was the initial cognitive response to behaviorism. No? Initial response to behaviorism. It emphasized actually importance of the sensory roles and dynamic nature of visual perception. So for this theory, no, meron tayong mga laws that was discussed under these Gestalt principles. The law of proximity, which means that elements that are closer together will be perceived as a coherent object. So if for example, no, when objects we are perceiving are near each other, we perceive them as a belonging together. So the law of proximity. Sometimes we can relate this kind of laws, no? That if we are very, very close to a person, we perceive them already as our confidante. No, we perceive this already na ano siya, no? But since it's on the cognitive part, we believe that if these are objects that closer not to our visual perceptions, we also perceive this as something that's belonging together. While the law of similarity, yung similar sila, no? Yung I hope you have so you have side examples of this, no? For in a visual manner, paano pa kinakita yung law of similarity. Yung for example, we link elements together, not because they are just similar. So, pwede siya, no? That's another law. So, the law of closure at the same time, you tend to fill the gaps or close the figures you perceive, no? May close space by completing a contour, for example. And the law of good continuation, yung the tendency to continue contours to whenever the elements of pattern establish an implied direction. So, continue lang, may padayon lang. Okay, so it's the element of contour. Okay, so that's the gestal theory. Now, you also have the law of good pregnance. No? Yung stimulus will be organized into as good as figure as possible. No? In this example, no, good refers to symmetry, human simplicity, or regularity. So, yung mga laws na yun, but I will not ask you to study all those laws because I did not include that in examination. I just wanted you to, what is this, no? When you are asked what is gestal theory, you can tell me what is this all about, okay? And the basic principle or the basic concept of what is gestal theory. So, yun na nga, no? Yung ating insight learning, it adheres to the idea of learning taking place by discovery or by insights. No? The idea of the insight learning were first developed by Fuller and then it was enhanced, no? by the rest of the theorists. No? So nag-i-improve siya. No? That's why nga educators are also encouraged to come up with a new theory, especially this time of post-pandemic time, no? Well, baka kayo yun, no? Baka you can come up also with your own theory. But these are something na that requires also, no, yung expertise of those people who are experts in education. And of course, no, experts also of the curriculum of the education. Para you could somehow work together in coming up with these new theories. Because not all theories are what is this, no? Are or can be appreciated by people. No? We can even criticize some of the theories. That's why there remains to be a theory because these are subject to be proven. So you always start with the analogy. But some of these theories or most of these theories actually are very helpful. That's why until now they live longer. Even these people already are in the soil. But their works are still very relevant up to present. So the next cognitive approaches is we have the Tolman's purposive. So, andito ba si Ma'am Villanueva? Ma'am Villalobos? You also have the Tolman's purposive. And we also have the Bandura's, what is this? No, Bandura's observational learning. Hello? Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For Tolman's purposive
Yes po, sir.
behaviorism, no, simply put, these are again a cognitive approaches or the neo-behaviorism. For Tolman's purposive behaviorism, meron tayo yung learning theory. Okay, which these are influenced by behaviorism, which is focused on external elements in learning, but their principles seem to also be reflective of the cognitive perspective. That's where it focuses also on more internal elements. So for Tolman's purposive behaviorism, um, ano siya, no? It refers to the sign learning theory. So the mass sign learning theory is often seen as the link between the behaviorism and the cognitive theory. So Tolman's theory was actually, founded on two psychological views. We get to also connect this theory of Tolman's to Gestalt psychologist and to John Watson's, the behaviorist. So this is a mix of their theories. No? So simply put, the Tolmans believe that learning is a cognitive process. Yun lang yung sa kanya, it's a cognitive process. Learning involves forming of beliefs and obtaining knowledge about the environment and then revealing that knowledge through purposeful and goal-directed behavior. So yun lang, this is simply put, understanding that this theory is a science theory that an organism learns by pursuing the science to goal. So yung mga learning is acquired through meaningful behavior. No? That's why, and also planning our lessons, we make sure that we incorporate mga learning activities that would promote meaningful behavior to learners. No? He stressed actually an organized aspect of learning, which is also a believer of the S and the R, the stimuli and the response relationships. So, yun na nga, according to Tolman's key concepts of this purposive behaviorism, learning is always purposive and goal-directed. It's always purposive. It means it has always purpose. You have always purpose, and that's goal-directed. Everybody has a goal. That's why intended learning outcomes in the part of your planning of the lessons is always there. Hindi na mawala yung intended learning outcomes. No? Or simply put, your learning objectives. And yun lang, for Tolman's. While for Bandora's social learning theory, yung Kambandura naman, it focuses on the learning that occurs within the social context, which means that people can actually learn by observing. So by observing people around you, by for example, observing your teacher, by listening to your teacher while he is talking, there's also learning at the same time. No? Yun yung general principle ng social learning theory. Another is, learning can occur without a change in behavior. Ibig sabihin, hindi kailangan bago yung aking behavior. I can be as noisy as I can, no? But still, I can learn. Parang gano'n na klase ang konsepto, no? Behaviorists say that learning has to be represented by a permanent change in behavior, and that in contrast, social learning theories say that because people learn through observation alone, so their learning may be not necessarily be shown in their performance, but this could be a result in a behavior of change. So mayroon naman understanding on this na may mga klase ng estudyante that they may not be able to show their learning through mga formative assessment types, but there's a change in behavior. Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon ng change in behavior. Kaya nga sinasabi always natin in the curriculum or in the concept of the curriculum, when can you say that you have successfully achieved your intended learning outcomes? So that will come out in the board exam, this is already a cue. When can you say, you, as a teacher, successful ka sa yung learning objectives? What do you think? Kapag pumasa sila lahat sa test, yun ba yun?
Knowledge is applied, sir.
When knowledge is applied, but what if, pag sinabi mo kasi knowledge is applied, maaari kasi i-apply nila for good or for bad. Diba? Pwede yun. What do you think? When can you say that you as a teacher have successfully achieved your learning objective? What do you think, Mr. Madskar? Open the camera tayo. Yan, para naman nakita ko kayo. Yes, Mr. Manscar, what do you think? That's good.
Busy yata, sir.
Busy ata. Okay, Mr. Palula. Oo, okay. Kumagin ulan po na ito. What do you think?
Kapag na-apply nila yung natutunan nila, sir.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you can say that as a teacher, you have successfully achieved your learning outcomes, no? Or your intended learning outcomes. Aside from our basis is yung assessment natin, di ba? If they have results. Aside from that is when, for example, there is a change of behavior among your students or your pupils. That's where you can say that as a teachers, you have successfully, what's this, no? Achieved your intended learning outcomes. Okay? So yun. Remember that because that might probably come out in your board exam. Sometimes, no, we think na yung assessment or yung formative or summative test would be enough to test if we have really achieved our intended learning outcomes. But actually, more than that, it's on the change of behavior among our students. That's where we can say that we have really achieved our intended learning outcomes. So for that matter, no, we also say that the general principle of the social learning theory is yung sinasabi nating the cognition plays a role in learning, which means there is at least yung social learning theory would increase cognitive, in its interpretation of the human learning, that the learning is increasing, which means hindi ba naging stagnant na. Ibig sabihin, every year there is an added informations to your learning, no? Every year may pumapasok na bagong updates, no? So continue siya. It's increasingly cognitive, no? Awareness and expectations of the future enforcement or punishments can have a major effect also on this behavior, no? Especially kapag sabihin pa natin that our learning is increasingly cognitive, no? We learn every year. There's a new information added to our knowledge bank, but may mga other factors also that would trigger to this learning na maano natin siya, no? Na ma-develop siya. So it could be, yan sinasabi natin, di ba? Human development, either growth or decline. So for that matter, baka slowly yung progress or abrupt naman yung ating progress to the increasingly cognitive na sinasabi natin. So that's why we say cognition plays a role in learning. The way how we learn things, the way how we absorb things and put that in our knowledge bank, it plays a role in our cognition. Now, also we say that social learning theory is considered a bridge or a transition between behaviorist learning theories and the cognitive learning theories. So that's why we say that. So we will not anymore go deeper with our discussion citing this social learning theory kasi sabi ko nga I will not include that subcomponents, no, and other factors in social learning. So with the contemporary social learning perspectives, no, of reinforcement and punishment, I will not include that in the examination. So just simply understand mo kung ano yung theory nila, saan nila tinagagamit, and as much as possible relate that to classroom situations. So pwede natin lang i-ano doon para mas tayo, no, para mas mabilis tayo mag-aral. Okay? Do you have any questions? Clarifications?
Sir, ano po yung type of exam natin on Friday?
We still have the same type of exam. I prepared 100 items final examination, multiple choice.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, yung activity 1.1 to 2.0, sir, kailan yung may extension ba, sir, ng pag-pass?
Okay, I think hindi lang kayo lumapit, I mean, like, nag-ask about this. Let me remind you once again that we have set already a due date for this. I told you that the submission for your requirements during our final examination. So I will stick to that. No, I will stick to that ano natin, arrangement. No, so if you will submit later than Friday, it's okay. I will still be accepting outputs, but please know that it would be different if you submit it on time. Okay, ganun lang. Kasi that would be unfair to those also who are working very hard just to comply with the requirements and submit on time. So, at saka take note ha, yung activity 2.0 were given 2 weeks ago. So, I think it's fair enough that I will stick to the due date, because the last activity were given 2 weeks ago. Okay, any other clarifications or questions? I am happy that at least there are around 32 from the class who really took their time to join this free, okay, at saka non-compulsory na learning review with you for the Hindi naman ako nag-require sa'yo. Alam ko it's holiday. Do not what is this? Do not report me on that, because I am just giving you a free review and a processing of reports for free for even if it's a holiday. Yes, Miss Jeraiza.
Sir, tanong ko lang po yung sa activity namin, yung sa front page po, ano yung ilalagay?
Definitely yung cover page, wala lang, gusto ko plain lang siya. And just write your name there and put lang siguro yung title yun na these are,
Pwede na auto lang.
learning activities, no? Sheets
The compilation of activities.
Pwede, no problem. You can come up with your own titles if you wish to be more creative, okay lang. Walang problema. Okay, pwede mo gumamit ng Clearbook. Ano ba yung arrangement nyo last time? Kayo man yung nag-suggest na gusto nyo ng book binding, di ba?
Clearbook, sir, na violet ang sabi mo last time,
No.
sir, A4 size.
Okay, wala problema. If you will use Clearbook, go on. If you would like to use Clearbook for your outputs, walang problema.
Okay, sir. Thank
I am
you.
actually giving you the free will to use. No? Wala naman ako, hindi naman ako talaga nag-require sa iyo na i-book bind nyo talaga yun. I think that suggestion were coming from the group. No, kayo gusto mag-book bind doon. Sabi ko nga lang talaga, di ba, i-clip lang. Eh. Gusto nyo talaga book bind. O, nakalaman talaga kayo. So, go. O, ano pa? Any other clarifications? Kaya na 7, labi ako din tawon. Oo. Any other clarifications? Are we good? I think nag-extend ako supposedly 1 hour lang tayo mag-hit.
Yung exam,
No more,
sir,
sir.
what time?
Ay, okay. I wish to start the examination at 5:30 so we can also end early. No, at the same time, I have also to return your exam results for the midterm. Before or probably after na ng examination, kasi baka mamaya pag makita niyo yung scores niyo ng midterm, baka mawalan kayo ng gana, so magiging negative reinforcement yon sa part niyo, no, diba? So I may at least, no, it will take time kasi hanggang alas 7 lang tayo pwede sa CTE building. May curfew kasi tayo sa building, so we cannot go beyond 7 o'clock. Okay, so are we good? I think we're good already. Wala na bang clarification? Can we end now our session?
Yes,
None,
sir.
sir.
None, sir.
Okay, so see you
Thank
on
you, sir.
Friday. Tomorrow. That's actually tomorrow pala, no?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Tomorrow na po.
See you tomorrow, sir.
Again,
Thank you,
for the
sir.
learning theories, I just wanted you to understand ano yung basic concept ng theory nila and their contribution to the different approaches, no, accordingly, and then we're good already to the examination. Do not focus more on its subcomponents and parts of its theory kasi I will not have examinations on that ano na talaga, yung deep na talaga na ano nila, discussion ng theory na. Hindi na. Doon lang ako sa basic concept ng theory. For as long as you understood the theory and you can explain anong theory na yun, and then we're good already.
Sir, meron pa pala akong question.
Yes.
Yung sa child development, sir, hindi na yun siya kasama?
Anong
Yung
child development?
developmental task?
I think we started our final term from the prenatal stage.
Yes, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Prenatal, from prenatal to physical, emotional, and physical, cognitive, and social-emotional of infant, toddlers, primary, intermediate, what is this? No, adolescents, and high
High
school
school.
learners. So lahat yun, kasama yun for the final examinations.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much for tonight. No? Thank you for joining. Even if it's a holiday, you responded to attend. No? Although this is non-compulsory, I did not require you to attend. Sa akin nga, okay lang at 5. Ang sa akin lang is that we could be able to process lang the report since my signal last time is really very, very weak. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to back in and process the reports. So, I think we're all good and ready for the examination tomorrow. So good night in advance, and have a nice evening to everyone.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your
Bye-bye,
time.
sir.
Good night po.
Tomorrow.